All right, I got two flaming shames today. I'm the Black Horseman. Shout out to everybody that's catching this playback. Bob Arum and Teofimo Lopez. They're on the grill today. I want to start with Bobby. This one is kind of funny, man, because there was a situation that occurred. I'm gonna play this video in a minute so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But there was a time period where Bob Arum defended Canelo Alvarez for this franchise stuff when Canelo had a serious issue with fight mandatories. And I remember I did a video, I did an edit, and I titled it "Don't Bother Canelo." And matter of fact, it happened to be the video I'm about to play has about the same title. I mean, um, I don't know who put up the video first, but maybe we just both, great minds think alike or whatever. But anyway, that was the main thing that stood out. Um, Bob Arum said, "Don't bother Canelo." Canelo's the Mexican superstar, and he can fight whoever he wants. He shouldn't have to fight a mandatory. This, that, and the third, right? And was saying that if the top contenders in the WBC don't like the fact that they can't get a shot at Canelo, well, then go fight for another organization, right? So we're gonna get into that, and then we're gonna see how. Um, no, let me get into how Bob Arum feels about Canelo right now. Okay, let me get to that. Let me share my screen. Shout out to everybody once more for that's tuning in. Share something with y'all because I don't just like to be the one just talking. I want to have show y'all some receipts. So here it is. Shout out to Fight Hub TV. I'm just for educational purposes and criticism. Just giving my opinion on Bob Arum then, or Bob Arum now, and Bob Arum then, and how they change up, and how certain people like myself stay consistent all the way through because we can say pattern developing to where this can be an issue long term. You see what I'm saying? But Bob is feeling differently about how he felt years ago. But let's see.
Terrence and Canelo.
If they're each going to fight, really fight, I think it's terrific. It's very interesting. They're, but again, if I had to pay money to watch that fight, I wouldn't do it because Canelo has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think it's safe to say Terrence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting fight.
You've always praised Terrence as a special fighter. Do you think he can beat Canelo?
Who is Canelo? What Canelo is going to?
That just came off funny, man. Who is Canelo? Like he ain't shit now. Like what? This is funny, man. Let's continue.
Show up. The Canelo who's looking to cash a big check, or the Canelo that really wants to fight like a fighter. Now, the Canelo we've seen the last 2 years is not only boring, but doesn't really have an incentive to mix it up and to entertain people with a good fight.
Let me pause it. So now that statement, I've said that about Canelo. That a lot of people hype him like his last 4 or 5 fights where his performance has been garbage, man. It's been boring, and a lot of people like to be critical on certain fighters. Oh man, these boring fighters. But then I'm like, man, this Cash Cow, this dude be boring as fuck. He don't be stopping nobody. His last stoppage was Caleb Plant. But other than that, just go 12 rounds, just like the rest of these boring fighters. But it's just funny hearing it from Bob Arum. Is that a boring fight? I mean, Bob in his 90s, man, is still going strong with this flame. Um, He does not reserve it, man. He is just giving his opinion, and it's funny that he's saying this stuff now because I'm gonna show y'all some footage of him some years ago, man. This is hilarious.
So again, but give him credit. Terrence Crawford hasn't been that way. Terrence Crawford is a real old school professional fighter who wants to do his best every fight that he's in.
Just your perspective. It was announced that Dana White and TKO are promoting this show.
Well, that shows how, really shows how Turkey respects everybody in boxing by having a UFC guy promote a fight that he's paying for, paying, an incredible amount of money for. But listen, it's his money. He can make a choice.
What do you think of it being on a Friday instead of a Saturday?
Who should care about it? Dana White doesn't care about it. The two fighters don't care about it. Nobody cares about it because it's all Saudi money. So it could be a Monday, it could be a Friday after
Oh, Tuesday.
services are over in the mosque. Nobody cares anymore. They just grab the check, and you can hardly blame them.
Bob, if Canelo comes to fight and Terrence comes to fight, what do you expect?
But that's a hypothetical
Yeah.
that it's silly to talk about because if look at the way Canelo has approached boxing the last couple of years, and this was before the Saudis got involved. It's like disinterested. Just go in and cash a check. Well, who knows with these guys getting so much money, what their incentive is to really perform. Look what happened because let's be honest about it.
All right, so I'll get back to this one. I think he said pretty much enough. Um, you know, his displeasure for the Canelo style over the last few years, even before Turkey Al-Sheikh got involved. Basically saying that Canelo only fights for the check. He's not here to entertain the fans. He's just here to just get his check, and basically blaming him, not even flaming William Skull at all, because I flame William Skull more than I did Canelo, because I'm like, shoot, this motherfucker undisputed. You're supposed to be fine, trying your very very best to dethrone this man. Same thing with Jamel. Like, they don't get no pass with me, but I see what he's saying. With Canelo, I just felt like Canelo just fell off, man. He's just overrated to me. So don't be mad at that he can't cut the ring off. Like, that's what I'm starting to see. Like, he's not as good as a lot of y'all thought, or as a lot of y'all expect him to be when he get in these fights, and then be mad and be mad at the opponents. Which, yeah, I'll be mad at the opponents, for being trash, and be mad at him fighting like trash. So yeah, man, you got to be balanced though. But Bob Arum, let me show y'all this other one, man. This is how he was talking. And Eddie Hearn, I always respect Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn was not with this shit that Bobby Arum was on, man. Look at this shit. This was and this is Fight Hype. Shout out to Fight Hype. Once again, we do not own the rights to this content. We're just here to give our thoughts and opinions. Um, this was 5 years ago. Okay. So 2020, around that area, that time period. This is Bob Arum then.
I'm in favor of it. So you're fighting. You're not. You're in favor. Canelo has done enough so he doesn't have to worry about mandatories. Now, that gives
We want to see the Charlo fight, yo.
you don't get a shot at Canelo. Nobody.
Now, the audio is kind of low, whoever's doing this. I know that there was another footage that when I first seen this, but Eddie Hearn was just trying to think. He said, so how does the other guy, how do the guys get a shot? The contenders get a shot? They don't get a shot. Y'all got to listen to him.
We want to see the Charlo
What?
fight, yo.
You don't get a shot at Canelo. No, but I mean, for example, he has Andrade. Andrade will never get a shot at Canelo, not because of mandatory, because he's the champion of another organization.
Now look, people hated me when I was promoting that unification between Canelo and Andrade because Andrade had the what the WBO belt, and Canelo said on camera, I forgot damn, what was that woman name? She had a her boxing channel. Damn, I don't want to say the wrong name, but anyway, she interviewed Canelo, and she was asking him about becoming the first Mexican undisputed at middleweight, and he was saying that means a lot to him. That's what he really wanted to do. So I'm like, okay, cool. He wants to become undisputed champ. That's a big champ shit. All right, well, Andre got a belt. We got to get the straps, man. Strap season, And then here comes this guy, this promoter Bob Arum, who had nothing to do with Canelo. He's not Golden Boy, but you know, um, they don't get a shot. Like what? Where did this come from, bro? I was highly upset with this man Bob Arum. And I was giving Top Rank a lot of praise at that time period because they was putting. Come on, man, Top Rank had been putting on great cards. Exciting cards. So I'll give Bob Arum prehistoric as that. But when he started doing this Canelo um don't bother Canelo campaign shit, I was like, oh nah, bro, get out of here.
So this is happens in boxing. You don't automatically get shots. The mandatory system is not designed for that
This guy.
anymore.
Man said the mandatory system is not designed for that anymore. Like, so who changed it? Did you change it? Did you authorize it? Was it a committee vote? What do you mean? And the people were so puzzled. Matter of fact, the guy that's going to ask him a question is what's the guy name? I forgot.
For
The
that
fat dude from
anymore.
boxing scene or something.
Should know they will have a regular champion.
Do you agree if you're a mandatory champion and you get beat, you should just remain franchise?
Right, or fight for another organization, for Christ's sake. There are three organizations. There's plenty of opportunity. Don't bother Canelo. I mean, he's not my fighter, but he's a face of boxing.
This is when all that bullshit started happening. This is when it started creating this big old thing on the internet. Um, definitely on this side of the street because I have my opinions about this shit. I'm like, oh hell nah, man, he ain't getting no special treatment. Why? Because he make this much money, or because he's Canelo Alvarez, so he get to skip the rules and shit. You know, Instead of fighting a guy who's next in line, who's been a mandatory for a couple of years or whatnot. Let's just give him a franchise belt and we'll downgrade. You know what I'm saying? The official WBC belt. Now we're gonna create another strap or another status to put him in a fucking elite status. That's why I was like, man, get out of here, bro. Y'all doing too much with this Canelo shit. And then now here he is talking about Canelo this, Canelo that. He's not entertaining, and he's a boring fighter. What happened to don't bother him?
Face of uh, particularly with Mexican Americans. And Mexican is the only friggin' guy that the zone has that can move the needle even this much as far as subscription. Let him fight who he chooses to fight. And if you don't want to watch him, don't cover his fights and don't go to his fight.
That's from Bob Arum. That's receipts. If you don't like it, don't cover his fights. Don't go to his fights. You know. Now you mad at people supporting this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know. This man wanted to go nuclear flame on Canelo when you was going nuclear flame on people who was applying flame to Canelo. Like, bro, what's up with these mandatories? What's up with these unifications, man? Come on now. You know, he's the Mexican superstar. He's the only guy that can move the needle. You know what I'm saying? But this is the bullshit in boxing. This is just showing y'all the build up to the of how this sport has got to where it got to. You know what I'm saying? Especially with this preference shit, favoritism stuff. That's great, man. He's a Mexican superstar and he's the cash cow. That's cool, but why you got to change the rules up though? You know, um, if one fighter cheats, they should get punished all the same. You know what I mean? Shouldn't be preference in raising um the levels. You know, WBC. You know, it shouldn't be where, oh well, because this guy generates so much money, he's the champ, so these guys don't deserve an opportunity to fight with him. And also, all people like me said at the time, like, okay, look, if that's what it is, vacate, fam. Vacate all these belts. Allow these other dogs that's coming up the rankings to fight and compete and to fight for their dreams to become world champ. But don't rob them of their opportunity when it wasn't just all about the payday, it was all about the prestige, the bragging rights, the glory to say, you know what, I fought this guy Canelo and I beat him. He was considered a top pound for pound fighter and I got my shot. And he would have gotten a lot more respect for that. Yeah, I heard somebody in the background at that time period was saying, we want to see the Charlo fight, man. And Charlo was the number one contender at that time. So that was a big thing where excuse me, not Jamal Charlo, um, he didn't get his opportunity versus Canelo for whatever reason, and what they did was they made Canelo franchise and then gave the strap to Jamal. And people was like, huh? That was the first franchise. That was the first remix type shit. People was like, what the fuck is this shit? And it just confused everybody. So it's like, so what about the other champions in other weight classes? Are they not the real champs because they don't have a franchise status connected to them? Or what does this mean? And it was just and Mauricio, the president, couldn't even explain the shit. So it was just, let's just switch up and change and do all kind of things to accommodate this man and make him happy because he has a big following and he's the cash cow. But yeah, that's how the mess gets started. I don't know what he was sipping on, if it was some whiskey or whatever before he did this interview, but this didn't age well because now you singing a different tune, Bobby.
That's my position. Now, I don't think they should make franchise willy-nilly, but Canelo deserves the franchise there.
What about Lomachenko?
Lomachenko doesn't deserve it yet. He doesn't deserve it yet. He has
And then that didn't age well either because Loma ended up getting franchised because Devin Haney became the number one contender in the mandatory to fight Lomachenko. And what did they do? They franchised and they said Bob Arum put in the request for Loma to get franchised. So he went from saying Lomachenko don't deserve it yet until the mandatory got ordered for Haney to fight him. Then it was just like, you know what? Um, y'all got any more them franchise tickets? Y'all got any more of them franchise applications? Okay, yeah, man. Lomachenko, great Olympian. You know, he's ranked, top pound for pound ranked fighter. Let's get that franchise order, please. With a little side of with a side of skipping the mandatories. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was number two. You see how you holding up the number two? You know, telling you, man. It'll show you. So the second franchise champ in history of boxing was Lomachenko, man. And Bob put in a request. So you have contributed to the damage, Bobby. And now you don't like it, man. You don't like what it has turned into, you know. Because you was on the whole, let Canelo do what he wants to do, let him fight who he wants to fight. He's the only one that can move the needle on the DAZN side, this, that, and the third, man. And then everybody else started thotting behind Canelo. Um, thanks to people like you, fanboying and overhyping this man. And now he think he's fucking an emperor and shit now. You know, he been having hella boring fights. But because he's been hyped to this level, you know, instead of us talking about Canelo and Benavidez, we talking about Canelo and Crawford. You know, got 80. What he got? Did he get what, like 50? Probably more than that, 50 million in his last fight to fight William Skull. You know, so yeah, man, interesting, man. How this shit go? This damn sport, man. That's why when you got to flame early to let people know where you stand on it. You know what I mean? You got to let them know where you stand. So yeah, let's see who we got up in here, man. Shout out to everybody once more. Let's see. Hey, welcome. What's up, Mark? What's happening? Charles, what's good? Shout out to Jokey Jokes with the Dry Jokes Promotions, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out. I understand what Bob is saying. He's saying when you're a champ, you're not ranked in another sanctioned body. So you don't get a shot automatically. Both people have to want to unify. Yeah, don't bother. Canelo's great. Yeah, wow. Yeah, we got a troll in here. Hey, shout out to the tavern, man. Look at that shit, right? Contradict himself. Loma wasn't moving no needles. Man, he said great fighter though, but Loma first pay per view was versus Haney. So yeah, man. You flamed yourself, low key, Bobby. You know what I mean? It's easy. You know when you've been around, you've been watching the sport. It's easy to go and pull up one of these old clips of what they were saying then and what they saying now, and seeing what role they played in contributing to the effery that has been taking place in the sport of boxing. You know, um, and I'm not gonna spend too much time on this next one, man. I told you I had two flaming shames. Uh, so before I get to the next one, flaming shame, Bob, to you, Bobby. You know, keep that same energy, man, from what you was talking about, man. Don't bother Canelo. He can fight who he wants. He's the cash cow. He's the only one that moves the cash needle and all that stuff, man. Just keep the same energy. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's already old, but he got a little older and realized, hey, man, I was tripping. You was tripping, bro. And I told you was tripping then, and I'm telling you tripping now. You know what I'm saying? You know, um, you was Team Canelo, and didn't had you didn't have nothing to do with that, but you wanted to involve yourself and put Canelo on this mountaintop above everybody, you know, and give him certain privileges as a champ. That was you. You helped to influence that, and then it trickled down to your fighter. Appreciate that, Mark. Then it trickled down to your fighter, Lomachenko, and that's why. And that was probably your in the cards for you the whole time because, and that's why you was defending Canelo because you're like, it's a good idea, Mauricio. And this guy Mauricio, president, I flamed him. I don't know. I've lost count how many times I've flamed the WBC president, but this guy, man, you know, anytime he's come up with a plan, it has been a horrible plan from what I've seen. And when I've seen Mauricio collaborating and saying, "Oh yeah, man," you probably told me, yeah, "This is a good idea, man. This is a great idea." Canelo, we're gonna do him first, and if you're already interested, you can do your fighter next. Oh yeah, I ain't worried about You must don't know how what I do to these trolls on this side. They don't last long over here. Could be. All right, so let's get to it, man. This next one, um, I've spoken on this before. Teofimo Lopez, Um, this I've been seeing like it's a few different things, right? Of course, he's trolling again. He's trying to push the little race narrative or just use the trigger words for attention. To me, in my opinion, I don't care because I mean, I do care, but at the same time, I got his game now. I see what he doing. But what this is what I want to do. I want to try to look something up while I'm thinking about this because this is what I've been saying before, but I want to get it. Want the record to kind of show so I can make my point correctly on this guy Tio and how he really don't want um action like that with certain people, although he act like he do. So this is what I'm gonna do first and foremost. I'm gonna pull up um this young man's records. That's what I'm gonna do first. Cause I know like a lot of people reacting and like, oh, Canelo's at Tio's at it again. He uh he called Crawford a nigga and all this other stuff, right? I heard all about all that. And then I'm hearing that there's talks about Tiafimo and Jerron Boots in this, right? And I might be wrong on what I'm getting ready to state with this guy, Tio. But this is my opinion on it. Um, until proven wrong, this is my stance on this shit. So Tio, of course, with 22-1, had a pathetic loss versus George Kambosos. He will never be able to escape that. So uh, great victory in his last fight. I don't have no flame for him. From what I've seen his performance, he looked pretty good versus Barboza. He looked like subpar versus Steve Claggett, went the distance. Jermaine Ortiz and Taylor. Okay, so look, this is why I came to Box Rec, right? Because remember, this is the guy who seems like he got such a great mad issue with, I don't know, the black athletes. And I notice he says that, oh, they favor to, the black fighters, this, that, and the other, right? This is what he like to say. Um that, yeah, man, they show favoritism to them and whoop de whoop. And I'm like, okay. And but I've seen him throughout the years, he'll call out or talk shit about Tank, talk shit about Shakur, talk shit about Devin Haney. I've even seen him get into it with Richardson Hitchens, the Crawford, um, probably a lot of other Black American fighters, right? But when I look at this man's resume, I don't see no Tyrones and Tanks and um now Richard Comey, but he's not Black American whatever, but I think he's from Africa somewhere. I'm not sure what but where who these are the people you're fighting. Ronald Reeves. I'm trying to say how many black dudes you fought, bro. Like because it's good to use that a black name to get you some hits, to get you some headlines, because obviously, I don't know if it's CTE or just the way the nigga's wired mentally. Um, he enjoys the attention that he gets from these racist remarks he makes and stuff like that. Somebody like me, nigga, you don't bother me, dog. I mean, I wish you nothing but the best, dog. But not a lot of people was gonna be nice to you based on the things that you said, man, when they see you in person, bro. Me, I don't care, man. I already know the type of person you are, man. You know what I'm saying? But okay, here we go. I think this is where's this dude? Nope. I thought he was American. This dude is from Brazil. I'm trying to see like when the last time you fought one of us. You feel me? Because you love to talk shit, but where who is you fighting that is even in the what you call it, geographical location or area of a Bud Crawford or a Devin Haney or a Tank or these people that you act like you better than but never fought. You better than Josh Taylor. You better than Barboza, Steve Claggett, you know, Lomachenko, Kome, Nakatani. But bro, where's this black American smoke? Where's this work at, fam? I don't see it, dog. I really don't see it, man. And I would give you credit. I'm like, okay, he done fought some people. He done fought a homie from LA. He done fought a homie from New York or something. He done fought a homie from. I mean, I would give you credit. Who is this? Let me see. This sound like kind of urban. Josh Ross. Oh, okay. We see some dreads. Hold up. Hold up. West Monroe. There you go. So he got a mess or West Monroe, Louisiana brother on your resume. Josh Ross, 5-18. Let's see when y'all fought, man. Let's see when y'all fought, man. See, I'll give you credit, T.O. You done fought. Oh, let's see. 2017. T.O. was 6-0 at the time. So yeah, man, your sixth fight, you fought. What's his name again? Rick Ross' son, man. Rick Ross' nephew or cousin. Josh Ross. West Monroe. Oh, Louisiana. So since then, let me make sure there ain't no other Rosses on your resume, fam. I just want to make sure I don't miss nobody. I thought Vitor Jones or something was somebody, no, but he from Brazil. I looked it up. Oh, okay. Never mind. Uh-oh, we got a William. No, from New Orleans. Nope. It's not enough. Like the Kendrick Lamar song. It's not enough, dog. I'm not seeing them. So yeah, man, I'm only showing y'all this because I'm gonna need this man to mix it up with one of these brothers. That's what I'm gonna need to see. None no more Claggett's, Barbozas, and Josh Taylors and Jermaine Ortiz. What is he? Hispanic? And that was a questionable win too. So a lot of people gonna say, yeah, he fought Jermaine Ortiz. His last name is Ortiz, fam. So I don't know what percentage a brother Jermaine Ortiz is. Shout out to him. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Get one of these choker chain anklet wearing ninjas on your resume, fam. Jermaine Ortiz got more brothers on his resume than you. Look like. And y'all both fought Vitor Jones. Damn, he's passing him around. Pause. All right, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, that was the first thing I wanted to show, man. The cap. This dude is cap, bro. That's my first thing. He don't want that kind. Yeah, they talking about boots in this. When have you ever fought one of these brothers that's been mixing it up like that? You ain't been fighting them, fam. You ain't been fighting them like that. So until I see otherwise, man, I don't believe nothing about this boots in this shit. I don't believe nothing about no Richardson Hitchens. I don't want to believe. I don't believe nothing about no Devin Haney smoke, Tank smoke, no Shakur smoke. If you a brother and you fighting and you got a good record, I don't think To is gonna fight you because his resume shows he don't fight them. Okay, you go look it up yourself if you got an issue with what I'm saying. Look it up. So until then, it will be nice. I mean, if you prove me wrong, get in the ring with Boots Ennis and we'll watch what happens. I would love to see that shit, man. Get in the ring. You see what I'm saying? Get in the ring, man, with Boots. You know, I want to see your skill, mirrored with one of these brothers, man, that you got an issue with or that you think ESPN is biased to or the boxing world is biased to or whoever, whatever gender you think it is, man. That's all I want to see. Stop the cap, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not doing nothing, man. I don't see no real black American smoke on To's resume, and I don't think we're gonna see it in the near future. You know, I expect another a Garcia or a Gonzalez or Trevino or something like that. That's what I expect. Or you know, um, somebody related to Algeria or something like that. I be Chris Algeria, something like that. You feel me? I be what up, fam? What's up, dog? Let me give me some agua real quick. Been a minute, dog. Oh man, yeah. That's what I said. I don't believe this and um this the I seen the video. Not even see the video. I just seen a headline and been hearing about Timothy Bradley. Man, at this point, bro, he being a company dude. You know, I guess because it's ESPN. We all know Tiafimo is top ranked. That's the ESPN side. You know, Bradley used to fight for top rank. Now he works for ESPN. So come on, man. If we talking about T.O. Um, beating Jerron Boots in his man, y'all need to get y'all motherfucking head checked. You know, y'all on drugs or something, man. You the company man, extremely biased, or you need to get checked out, man. CTE is real. I don't know, you know. Shoot. And if T.O. don't have CTE now, jump in there with Boots. I guarantee you're gonna have it after that. At least for a week. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it that T.O. want all the smoke. Like it's just first it was Bud, and then it was now it's Boots. Okay, get in there then, man. I guess. Just go ahead and get in there then. You know, prove me wrong because I don't believe any of that shit, man. Um, it's just for some reason people just love to give this man unnecessary promo. You know what I'm saying? Now I give him his props. He's a two-time lineal or whatnot. You know, two-time lineal champ. So that's a great achievement. So that's an achievement that a lot of people haven't reached. But you need to stop reaching for this clout and using these different using the black community, bro. Like, come on, man. That's a poor way to gain followings or to get some views, man. That's just pathetic. I look at him like, bro, this guy is pathetic, man. Why do you need attention so bad, bro? Why? Why do you need attention so bad, so desperately? That's when you know somebody needs attention desperately. Because first and foremost, he know what type of attention black people bring. You know, oh shit, I gotta get their attention. I need to get them talking about me or looking at me. Man, you to me, you're sick, man. You're a sick person to do that. You know, but at the same time, you're in the fight business, right? You're in the hurt business. I want to see you hurt one of these brothers in the sport, man. You know, prove that you as elite as you say you are. You know, because you got such an issue with the I guess the promo that a lot of these fighters is getting that don't look like you. So since you got an issue with the ones that don't look like you, go sign the contract. Get in the ring for real and let's see that hate displayed in the ring. Are you gonna do that? Because your resume ain't been showing you about that at all. You know, and I ain't got nothing against the light skinned community, man, or whatever nationality. But you've been fighting a lot of the light skinned community, fam. That's all I've been seeing for the most part. You know, but the ones you got the most issues with, you know, that's within the red, white, and blue borders. You know, with the dark skin tone, you ain't out. You're not fighting them. So won't you fight them for a change? You know, quick to talk some shit and jump on a black podcast, but you won't sign a contract and get in the ring with one of them. That's just weird to me. So I'll be like, if it was me, stop giving this man promo till otherwise. You know what I mean? Stop allowing this man as to be a guest, disrespect, come on and be a guest on your platform, you know, like this should be weird to me. I would never put a motherfucker like this on my podcast. Never. After that type of disrespect, he could have said that about Asian people. Get this man out of here. What the fuck do I need to talk to him about? I'm not desperate for views to where I want to ask this man. So what did you actually mean when you said that racial remark? I already. I don't need to know what you meant, nigga. I don't need to know what you meant. You know. Best of luck, man. You know what I mean? Best of luck to you out there, though. Feel me? Because it's consequences for everything. It is. But that is why you have, my friend, have become the second flame of shame of the day. Okay, dos flame, my G. So let's see you take over for real. You know, I know you've been taking over. What where was Josh Taylor from? Not Ireland, but Scotland. So you took over Scotland. You the takeover of Scotland. You the takeover of Ukraine. Who else you to take over of? You know, I think Guatemala. You probably fought some Guatemalans and whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not the complete takeover though, man. But you're just trying to take over the internet with stupid stuff, man. Because you got a lot going on in your life, and you are trying to escape. And trying to escape to the internet is a mistake. I don't care who you are. You got a lot of issues going on personally. Trying to use the internet as an escape is a horrible mistake. Okay, so man, shout out to Bruce. Yeah, Ortiz is pretty good. Shout out to Bruce Gas up in the building. And actual facts. Light skins, dark skins, potato skins, banana skins. On everything. You feel me? Shout out to my light skinned brother, actual facts, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, shout out to my dog, man. East Coast, West Coast. You feel me? All my peeps. But you know what, man? I have a bonus flame. Let me pull this up before I get out of here, man. Cause I have to go um get this meal. Not MILL, you know, MEAL, nigga. A meal. I'm hungry in this piece. But let me go here, man. Because if this is true, this also points to why myself and individuals like myself on this platform have been flaming crispy a particular organization, man. And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. So I'm doing this on the fly right quick because I just thought of a bonus flame that I want to insert pause into this topic or into this particular live stream for today. Okay. All right, hold on, bear with me. Bear with me for a second, y'all. Let me put y'all on game. Shout out Kendrick. All right, here we go. Okay, almost ready. Loading the magazine up real quick. Like this flame. Let me see. Boom. And then one more to load up. All right. Here's my bonus flame. I'm hearing rumors that Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios are in serious talks for a fight to happen. Many of us know that Mario Barrios is the current WBC belt holder, welterweight. And Manny Pacquiao has been out of the ring. What was his last fight? Um, Official fight, that is. Let me look that up. 46 years old. There's some bullshit going on in this sport, y'all. I'm just telling you, man. 62-8. Manny Pacquiao's record. His last fight was in 2021. Let me repeat that, y'all. His last official fight was in 2021, August 21st of 2021 against Dennis Ugas, where he lost unanimous decision. And I watched that fight. He clearly lost that fight. It was a good performance by Dennis Ugas, and from there he got obliterated by uh, the big fish, Errol Spence, who turned into the fried fish after he fought Blood. But yeah, man. So a guy who has been inactive for 4 years, almost 4 years. If the reports are correct, gets to skip the line to face Mario Barrios for the official WBC belt. And the only response I have to say about that, or to that, is Mauricio. Fat ass Mauricio Suleiman. Same shit, different year, different situation. When it's related to the WBC, it's always some bullshit. It's never hardly anything positive. It's always some dookie business when we talking about the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman. Ever since Mauricio Suleiman took the organization by the horns, it has been an absolute vomit show. And it just gets worse and worse year by year. The shit that this man allows and approves, man, is just beyond me, bro. I'll just be like, who is okay with this shit, bro? Like, let's just fuck how hard number two, number three, number four, and five, the top 10 contenders, fuck how hard they didn't fought just to be able to get in that position. Manny Pacquiao earned his shot to fight for the world title because of what he did throughout his career. He gets to just skip the line. Not he got to fight one of the top contenders because they could have done that. Like, look, all right, well, look, if you fight one of these top dudes and you defeat one of the top contenders, then you get your title shot. No, 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 no. We are very, very pleased that you would want to fight for our belt. So we are going to allow this to happen in the great Manny Pacquiao, and we're going to customize another belt to commemorate and to congratulate this miraculous event. This is a fat waste of space, man. This is what this guy is, man. You know, there's no goddamn reason why Manny Pacquiao should be allowed to fight for a world title unless he at least proves he deserves to be in the ring with a champ. Once again, this man is what, 40? Was it 46? 46 years old, man. Now, what if Mario Barrios go in there and beat this man to death? You know whose fault it's gonna be? This man right here. This blood, shit, Manny Pacquiao blood will be on your hands, man. If something happened to Manny Pacquiao, and I don't know what's gonna happen in the fight, I don't too much care. But if something happens to 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao, it will be because you allow him to skip the line and get his head beat on by a world champ, a young dog, man, a young lion with a world title who fought who fought his way up there. He didn't take 4 or 5 years off like this man Manny Pacquiao doing exhibitions and um what you call it, meetups and whatever Manny Pacquiao been doing. So I don't have any issue with Manny Pacquiao, but at the end of the day, this is dog, like I say, it's a vomit show. Okay, it has been a complete vomit show ever since Mauricio Suleiman has been in authority. Some people were not meant to be in authority, man. I'm just speaking facts. Some people are not meant to do that. Some people are not good at that. History, time shows you that. Okay? Look at the state of things. Look around. Okay? With this organization, WBC, look at it, man. Back of the line, same street promotions. Man down. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, that was my last flaming shame of the day. Mauricio Suleiman in the WBC, man. You know, just man, I would tell you, never mind. I was gonna say go to hell or some shit, whatever. But they probably don't even want you there. You know what I'm saying? Satan don't even want you down there. Like, oh hell no, man. You ain't got no room for this fat ass. We go somewhere else. If God don't want you there, you stuck. You stuck on earth, nigga. Reincarnate, fat ass. But anyway, man, that's all I got for this one, man. Flaming Shane Bob Arum for not being consistent and ushering in the babying and the favoritism of Canelo Alvarez, and now feeling some type of way that it didn't turn out the way you thought it was going to turn out, you know. And so yeah, man. Shout out to you, man, being prehistoric and still, pushing. But yeah, you know, I know you was foolish for saying that shit then, and you looking foolish now because you was on some other shit, 5 years ago. Teofimo Lopez, shut your whole ass up, man. You ain't about that life. You really not. You know what I'm saying? You was one of these how they ask you and this is just my opinion, but some people, man, they start losing their mind and they become what they call, when they ask you the questions, are you a human or a robot? He borderline on one of them shits, man. The dude is a Looney Tune, you know. So some people lose their minds and they become that other shit. You know what I mean? Takeover. That's the real takeover. Something took over you, fam. The way you acting, because you can't be in your right mind the way shit you've been talking lately. You see what I'm saying? You mixed up, fam. So definitely flavor shame, man. You know, um, that's just you know, you need help, man. Get treatment, and if you're really about that life, sign a contract, fight one of these brothers that you got this jealousy towards, and but stop trying to use black people for your clout, man. You're pathetic, and you're pathetic too. Stay out of the buffets, Mauricio Suleiman. You know, you crusty Murasoga. You need to retire. That's my hope. That you don't, that you're not a WBC president in 2026. My hope is that 2025, this is it. Either the whole organization goes down like the Twin Towers or something, or they get a new president. You know, I wish it would be Mauricio, not Mauricio, Turk with all his money, buy y'all's organizations and fire y'all. You mean, you know, thank you, my brother. Fired. I would be like that. Fired. You've done nothing to help this sport. You know, your services is no longer needed. You bitch ass nigga. Yeah, that's all I got, man. I'm the Black Horseman. Shout out to the UGC, the True Media Movement. That's everybody keeps it real, stays true to who they are.